It's a cruel trick of nature. Some of the most stunning plants you can grow are also the ones most likely to cause chaos in your garden. They look innocent, sometimes even delicate, but beneath those flowers and glossy leaves lies a survival strategy that can choke, starve, or smother the rest of your plants. These are the plants that seduce gardeners with beauty and fragrance, then quietly take over the soil, block the light, and drain every drop of water in reach. The worst part? Many of them are sold openly in garden centers, praised in landscaping magazines, and gifted by well-meaning friends who have no idea what they're unleashing. If you've ever planted something that took off so well it became impossible to control, you've already learned this painful lesson. But today, you'll know exactly which ones to avoid, why they're so destructive, and what to do instead, so your garden stays beautiful without becoming a war zone. Let's walk through these plants one by one and see why their charm hides a destructive nature, starting with the worst offenders. Wisteria is a plant that fools many gardeners. With its cascading purple blooms and intoxicating fragrance, it's the sort of vine that makes you want to plant it right away. But once it's in the ground, it quickly turns into a monster. The woody vines grow thick and heavy, climbing and twisting around anything in their path, even trees and structures. Wisteria's roots dig deep and spread wide, and its dense canopy blocks sunlight from anything beneath it. In the wrong location, it can pull down fences, strangle nearby shrubs, and cause structural damage to sheds or pergolas. If you must grow it, keep it in a large, heavy container and prune aggressively every year. Next is morning glory, another vine that's just too good at what it does. Those cheerful, trumpet-shaped flowers pop open with the sunrise, giving any fence or trellis an instant cottage garden feel. But this vine doesn't know when to stop. Its seeds scatter everywhere, germinating in cracks, compost piles, and even the roots of other plants. Once it's established, pulling it out is like playing a never-ending game of tug-of-war. It's not unusual for morning glory to wrap around vegetable stems and pull them down. If you love the look, try dwarf morning glory or annual varieties that don't spread as aggressively. Bamboo might be the ultimate example of a beautiful plant with a dark side. The graceful canes sway in the wind, the rustling leaves add a peaceful sound, and the plant grows quickly enough to create instant privacy. But running bamboo varieties spread underground through rhizomes that travel far beyond where you plant them, sometimes popping up 10 meters away. Left unchecked, it will invade lawns, neighboring gardens, and even crack through pavement. Containing bamboo requires a physical root barrier sunk deep into the ground, and even then it needs constant monitoring. Mint seems harmless. After all, it's a kitchen favorite. But in the soil, mint behaves more like a ground-hugging invader. Its creeping roots spread rapidly, and small fragments left behind after pulling will regrow with surprising speed. In vegetable gardens, it can overwhelm nearby herbs and leafy greens. It's best grown in a pot, even if you plan to set that pot into the soil to keep the roots from spreading. English ivy is another deceptively elegant plant. It's perfect for covering unsightly walls or creating a shady green backdrop, but once it gets a grip, it refuses to let go. Ivy can smother trees, blocking their leaves from photosynthesizing, and its weight can cause branches to snap. On brick walls, it can work its way into mortar, eventually weakening the structure. Birds may spread its seeds into wild spaces, where it becomes a serious invasive species. Purple loosestrife looks like a wildflower dream, with spikes of vivid magenta blooms that attract pollinators. The problem is, it doesn't stop there. In damp soil or near waterways, it multiplies rapidly, crowding out native wetland plants. This doesn't just harm plant diversity, it also affects wildlife that depend on native species for food and shelter. While some cultivated varieties are claimed to be sterile, many still produce viable seeds, so it's safest to skip it entirely. Crown vetch is often sold as a soil stabilizer because it covers ground quickly. Unfortunately, it also invades flower beds, lawns, and vegetable plots. Its dense growth smothers smaller plants, and its deep roots make it hard to remove. The flowers might look delicate, but once crown vetch establishes itself, it turns into a sprawling mat that resists mowing and pulling. Sweet autumn clematis is a vine that bursts into a cloud of fragrant white flowers late in the season. While it's stunning in bloom, it produces a huge number of seeds which can quickly lead to unwanted plants sprouting all over your garden. Over time, it can overwhelm fences, trees, and even garden sheds. Choosing native clematis varieties is a safer bet if you want the same late-season beauty without the invasiveness. Japanese barberry is a thorny shrub that many landscapers use for its neat shape and colorful foliage. But it creates dense thickets where few other plants can grow, thanks to its ability to change the soil chemistry and block sunlight. Its berries are eaten by birds, which then spread the seeds into wild areas, where it outcompetes native shrubs. The spines also make weeding or clearing around it unpleasant. So, butterfly bush is another plant that, seems like a perfect choice. It attracts pollinators and produces these long clusters of flowers. However, it can actually spread aggressively, especially in warmer climates, and displace native plants that feed caterpillars and other beneficial insects. While adult butterflies do feed on its nectar, the plant doesn't support their full life cycle the way native host plants do. Periwinkle, or vinca, is a glossy-leaved ground cover that's often planted to control erosion or fill shady spots. But it spreads relentlessly, rooting wherever its stems touch the soil, and forming mats that choke out woodland wildflowers. Once established, it's extremely hard to remove without disturbing the entire top layer of soil. Yellow flag iris is a wetland beauty with tall sword-like leaves and brilliant golden blooms. In ponds or along streams, it quickly spreads through both seeds and rhizomes, crowding out native aquatic plants. Its roots form thick mats that trap silt, altering the flow of water and affecting fish habitats. It's another case where the plant is lovely to look at but destructive to the ecosystem. While these plants each have a certain appeal, the damage they cause outweighs the beauty they bring. The safest approach is to admire them in controlled spaces, pots, raised containers, or areas with physical barriers that prevent spreading. Even better, seek out native alternatives that provide the same colors or textures without the invasive tendencies. Your garden will thank you with healthier soil, greater biodiversity, and fewer battles to fight each season. By understanding the hidden risks of certain plants, you can create a garden that's as safe for the ecosystem as it is beautiful to the eye. Don't let charm trick you into planting a problem that will take years to undo. Stick to species that work with your garden, not against it, and you'll enjoy the rewards of a balanced, thriving space year after year. If you found this guide useful, share it with other gardeners before they make the same mistakes. And for more practical, science-backed gardening advice that keeps your plants healthy and your soil alive, make sure to subscribe to Soil and Plant Doctor. Every week brings new tips to help your garden grow smarter, not harder.